Then really the last unique thing that we have is Discovery SpaceClaim by Ansys. So SpaceClaim is a really nice tool in that it's not really a reverse engineering tool. It's a multi-purpose 3D modeler. So it allows you, it's a direct modeler if you've utilized anything like Fusion 360 or Google SketchUp. This is the professional version of that. Okay. And they've done a great job of giving us the ability to import and efficiently use 3D scan data to reverse engineer. So not only can you rapidly create geometry, you have STL file manipulation. We actually have, we can open and edit any CAD file. So if you have data from other customers or other people within your company that use another software, you can open and import their CAD file and edit it. We can directly repair poorly constructed models as well as STLs for, let's say if we're gonna, we need to fix a model you get from somebody that's gone through multiple translations and it's falling apart or it pulled apart. You can stitch those up, as well as poorly constructed STLs if you want to directly 3D print. So if you scan something and it's got a bunch of holes, there's a couple of very quick one-click fix buttons that'll get it 3D printable. Really nice. And then as well, we can do reverse engineering. So it was a really nice option that they gave us here. All right, so demonstration 4, this is the last one. I do want to show you how this software works. I'm going to open up, this is SpaceClaim. So to give you a very brief picture of how this works, I'm going to go ahead and put a plane in here, okay? And the way that a direct modeler works is I'm going to start with a sketch, and I'm going to sketch let's just do a point. So I'm going to put a point right on the X, Y, Z coordinate system. I'm going to grab my pull tool, which essentially replaces all of your modeling tools in your other programs. Depending on what you select, it adjusts itself automatically to guess what it is that you want to do. The main function behind the pull tool, though, is to take a geometry and pull it. So I can pull that point into a line. I can then grab that line or that vector and pull it into a surface. And then once I've got a surface, I can click and pull that surface into a solid body. Okay? So once I create my solid body, I can adjust it however I want with the same tool. So if I wanted to do something like make it taller, I would have to go back in a parametric program and adjust my extrusion height. If I wanted to make it wider, I would have to adjust that in my sketch. And if I wanted the box to be above my sketch plane, I would either need to change my sketch plane or do a move face tool. So all of those tools are condensed down to this one pull tool. So to expand that to a reverse engineering workflow, I've scanned this part. It's a little bracket. Now it's got a little bit of missing data there because I didn't, I only scanned it in 2 orientations. I've got plenty of data to make that up, so I don't need that corner. But the way this works is I'm going to go back to sketch and I'm going to grab a circle. Now this whole part is going to be kind of based off of this center hub here. So I'm going to grab my sketch plane, and you can see that the original plane, the cross section looks a little nasty. So I'm going to pull that up into the part until I get a really nice cross section of that center hub. I'm going to get normal to my view. And if I have my circle, you can see how I can snap to the cross section of the mesh. So it's a little more basic than the Design X reference polylines, but I can still click on it. So I've already aligned this part based on that hub. So I'm going to click and pull that up there. And you can see it snaps right up to that center hub. And I'm going to do the next one based off that same center point. And we're going to go all the way up to the round here. Okay. Now when I go to design pull, it automatically takes me out of that sketch mode, gets me into the 3D view, and it takes my profile and it's already made it into a surface. So I can grab that surface, do up to, and then click on the top. So it's basically an extrude up to surface, but I'm just using the same tool. So I'm going to get the bottom one. What's nice with this is it works very efficiently. So if I need to grab the bottom of that part to pull it down, I don't need to flip it over. I can just scroll through the part, one click. Now I've selected the bottom of the part up to, and here's where I can, again, I can scroll all the way through, or I can just click on the bottom. And get it back in my view there. Actually, what I would want to do, I'm going to pull that up, and I'm going to make sure I anchor it to this sketch plane, okay? So very quickly, I've created this geometry. So now what I can do is, for the rest of it, this is where it gets pretty neat, is I'm gonna go create the rest of my profile. So now I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna pull this sketch up to where I have a cross section going through the entire part, okay? Then I'm going to convert or project my outer circle, because the rest of this part's kind of based on it, right? It's tangent. I'm gonna hide that. So I've got my converted outer edge there. From here, I'm gonna grab a tangent line. I'm gonna click on this outer edge. You can see here it creates a line that's tangent to the circle. And I'm gonna anchor it down here. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. So I'm gonna click, anchor it down here. And that way I've got a nice linear transition into that circle. And then the rest of the lines I'm just gonna sketch in. So there's one there, and here's one up there. Okay, so if I hide my mesh, I've got a couple gaps here. I'm gonna trim those up into corners. Okay, I'm also gonna trim out this area here because I don't need that for the profile. So you say, okay, now how do I get this hole in this radius? Well, we have a create round, which just allows me to click on this edge and then hover over, and I can drag that into place so I can very clearly see where it snaps up to. And then utilizing that center point, I can sketch another circle in that center point, so that way the outer and inner radii are concentric. Same thing down here. So I'm gonna go to a round. Okay, we're gonna get this snapped up to the proper position. You know what, I'm just going to, there we go. So I can then pull that, I don't want to pull it in. I'll tell you what, I'll fix that in the next step along with this corner here. All right, so we're gonna go back to our pull. So design, pull. And I'm gonna now click that surface up to the top face, and I'm gonna scroll through, bottom surface up to plane. Okay, if I show my two solid bodies and hide there, I've got these two features. We can combine those two together just like a merge. And I can use that pull tool because we got this inner geometry here. Again, I don't need to do a new sketch extrude. I just click on that inner area, pull it through. Okay. From here, if I need to fix this radius, I can click on it up to, and then I can click the underlying mesh, and you'll see it'll snap it up to it. Okay. Same thing with this. I don't even have a corner here, but I'm going to click the corner, and now because I'm clicking on a corner, the pull tool knows I'm trying to pull it into something else. So I can click that up to, click that radius, and then fine tune, 0.201 inches, I'm gonna make it 0.2, okay? Another thing you can do is if you've got an area that needs a chamfer, so if I click this, instead of the round for an edge, I can click chamfer, and I can make a chamfer, whatever I need to do there. And at the end of the day, we end up with our solid body. So there's some surface wrapping in here, but this really shines for me on creating geometric features. This is very, very fast just because of the way that you create geometry and how you can edit them. What's really cool once you get done is, again, I'm moving off of the pull tool, just something else you can do. Let's say that you want to change the angle of this arm here with respect to the rest of it. Maybe you need a different angle. You can grab using this move tool, instead of going back and changing your sketch and then hoping that sketch doesn't crash the model and all that you normally see in a parametric file. I'm going to anchor this move tool to my center axis. I'm going to click those side surfaces, and then I can rotate that part. So it's awesome. I mean, you just can't do that quickly in any other program or any other type of modeling program. So you can adjust that angle, and you can make a completely new part based off of the one that we reverse engineered. So that's a very quick layout of SpaceClaim. Again, a very nice tool here.